So here's our first video in reviewing our multiplication facts. Again, I think it's a good idea just to go over some of the basics. And we don't start from 0 and work our way up to 10. We actually start with the numbers 2, 5, and 10 just as a way to get some of our easier ones out first and then focus a bit more on the ones we have some concerns with. So let's get started. So we're starting with our times 2 facts. Now, with times 2 multiplication, this can also be thought of as addition doubles, like taking two of the same numbers and adding them together. So for example, like you see here, if you have an equation like 2 times 3, think of that as adding 3 plus 3, which will give you a 6. And another example would be, for example, 2 times 7. That can be thought of as a double of 7, or 7 plus 7, which is 14. Part of what I like to teach with this is some of the vocabulary that kind of helps you. Now, these are words you're definitely going to need to know in middle school, so that's why I try to review them here. So just want you to remember that multiplication uses something called the commutative property. Now, that means the order of the factors or the numbers that you're working with, it doesn't really matter. You're still going to, like, you could flip, for example, in the example above, like the 2 times 7, if you did 7 times 2, you still would have gotten 14. Or as you see here, the product or the answer of 14. Same with 2 times 3. If you flipped it around and did 3 times 2, you still would have gotten 6. So keep that in mind. And for each of these, I do like to put a multiplication chart up, and it we'll fill them in as we go. So we've already knocked out these twos right across here, and then these twos. So again, multiplication table uses these numbers. For example, 2 times 0 is 0, 2 times 1 is 2, 2 times 2 is 4, and so on. Just a reminder on that. Our next ones are the tens, the times 10 facts. These are also a pretty easy set of factors to learn, because what you're really doing when you're multiplying by tens is you're shifting or moving your numbers one place to the left. Now, why is it just one place? Well, you can easily tell by the number of zeros you're multiplying by how many places to move that or shift to the left. In this case, with 10, it's only 1 0, so we move once. And when we do shift those numbers one place to the left, the empty space there has to be filled with something. We can't just leave it kind of hanging there. So we put a 0 in there as something called a placeholder. So just to remind you on that. So here's a couple examples. If we do 3 times 10, we can shift the digits one place to the left. So take that 3, move it 1 to the left. Now you've got that empty space there. You've got to drop a 0 in there, and that gives you a product of 30. Same for 6 times 10. Take your 6, shift it one spot to the left. You've got an empty space, put in a 0, and you have a product of 60. As you can see here on our chart, we've got our tens. We've got our column of tens here and our row of tens right here. And again, these are just good visual reference for kids just to see how our facts are used. And our last one for our lesson today are the times 5 facts. Now, this is another one that can be fairly easy. I know a lot of kids will just memorize them, and that's an easy way to do it, but there is another way to learn it. Now, what you can do is take whatever your number you're multiplying by 5, and actually in your head just multiply it by 10, and then you can take that number and divide it in half, or take that answer or product and divide it in half. I've got 2 examples for this one as well. So you can do 5 times 8. So take that 8 and multiply it by 10. That'll give you 80. And in your head, you can probably take that 80, split it up into 2 equal halves, and that's going to give you a 40. And again, the reason that works is because 5 is actually half a 10. And last example we'll go over for today is 5 times 4. Now take that 4, multiply it by 10, and that'll give you an answer of 40. In your head, you can divide 40 by 2 and gives you 20. So You have two techniques there. You can do straight up memorization with your fives, or take the time to multiply a number by 10 and then divide by half, and that can give you the answer as well. And here's our chart here. Again, we've only learned 3 facts so far, reviewed them here at the beginning of the week, and already a lot of our charts already filled up here as far as math facts we've done. Your homework for today on Monday, September 14th is I'd like you to log into Schoology and find today's assignment in your math course. Now, I've got the assignments week by week, so you can find our week, which is 9/14/20 to 9/18/20, and just go under Monday, and everything you need will be right there. There'll be this YouTube video to watch, 2, 5, and 10. And once you're done watching this video, I'd like you to log into your Reflex Math accounts and practice that until you get a green light for the day. Now, I have posted a video on my Mr. Centerwall's classroom website on how to log in your Reflex Math account. I've also, if you've probably noticed, put that at the very top of this week's assignments. So that's a good refresher for students that have used it before, and also a good how-to for some of our new students this year. Any questions you might have, you can reach me during my office hours. Send me a message, an email, or Schoology, or just ask me anytime you get a chance, and I'll be happy to help you.